To begin with, just cover the whole armature with clay and make a very basic head shape and draw on a centre line. And this is where I'll be building out my profile of Patrick Stewart onto. So start off with the nose and then try and build out the rest of the profile in relation to that. There you are, you can see him from the side. Some people have a very distinctive profile, and I would count Patrick Stewart as one of those people. I think you can already see it's a little bit like him from the side. Now I'm drawing on a basic skull structure shape, so I do eye sockets, the zygomatic arch, cheekbones, jaw shape and the temporal ridge, and I just build out those high points. And I'm doing everything in relation to that profile that I've already blocked out from the side. So I'm building out his face in 3 dimensions, all in relation to that initial profile. And I just use my fingers sometimes to smear the clay into the correct shapes and just making sure that it's symmetrical. Sometimes it's useful to use both hands to make sure both sides are doing the same thing. This is water-based clay that I use. It's much quicker and I think much more tactile to use than oil-based clay. Once that skull shape's in, then I build the ears on. And you can see there's a line drawn on there, and that's because when I'm doing these types of sculpts I do use a front-on picture with a grid on it, and if you take a look at my online course Building Blocks, I explain this process in very great detail. It's a very long course, it's about 7.5 hours I think of very detailed structured information to help you do this at home if that's something you would like to learn. Now the basic skull shape's in, I'm putting in his eyeballs, so I'm literally putting in balls of clay in the correct position. And then I'll model them in and make sure they're the correct height and depth on his face before building his eyelids, his upper and lower eyelids. So you can see I've drawn on there where I want the eyes to go on. And I usually put on the bottom lids first. So it's just like a flattened clay sausage modelled onto the ball that I've made for his eyeball. And then I'll put on a smaller flattened sausage because there's less room at the top for his upper lid. Patrick Stewart has quite a distinctive shaped cranium, top part of his skull. It's quite elongated from the side, and you can see already it really helps to get that likeness that he's got that unusual shaped head, because obviously he doesn't have hair at this age that we're sculpting him. Now I'm filling in that area between the cheek and his bottom eyelid. This expression that he's doing is something that Patrick Stewart does a lot. It's kind of a very slight half smile, I would say. That does pull up his cheeks a little bit, and you can see his mouth is just slightly smiling, not completely serious. Always try to sculpt people making an expression that they do actually make a lot. It's no use sculpting someone with a big smile if they're very rarely seen smiling. You want to capture their personality by trying to do an expression that they do actually do quite a lot. And Patrick Stewart does do this sort of, I'd call it an enigmatic smile. He does tend to slightly squint his eyes as well. It's very much something that he does a lot. Here I'm just using my curve-ended tool to model in some of those shapes around the nostrils and the nasolabial fold. Here I've just hollowed out his irises, and then I also like to press in the pupil a little bit deeper. It just makes the eyes read like real eyes in photos. You can see that slight smile coming through even more now, and when you are sculpting someone that might be a little bit older and they're going to have a few wrinkles, you really want to leave it right until the end to put those wrinkles on. There's no point in trying to model details like that before you've got the whole thing really solid and you're confident that it looks like them. Wrinkles are very much surface sculpting, and here I am just sponging him off. And there he is, spinning around. You can really see that unusual shape of his skull there. And there he goes. Goodbye.